Hello. Welcome to the Make It While You Fake It podcast. A podcast about running a custom furniture and woodworking business while also trying to start a community makerspace outside of Philly. All without having any formal education in woodworking or in business. I'm Dan Scriven from Woe Shop Woodworking and MontCo Makers, and I'm glad that you're here with us. So you did one earlier this week? You did a podcast earlier this week?
Yes. Wait. No, last week.
Last week.
Dates.
Nice.
I don't know days. Today's Tuesday, so it was last week.
Is it? I have no idea.
Matt is starting a business, and one of the things he's doing is making a podcast. So I did that last week. And
well,
I told
that's
him
fun.
about your business and sent your Instagram, and he says he's excited to learn about it. So
Nice.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
yes,
We did start recording.
I figured.
I know.
See it in your eyes.
I know.
Could you see it in my eyes?
I did.
She knows.
I did. I know. Because my voice changes.
Wait, my
It's a
little
radio voice. Oh, yeah. The explicit text always on.
can't fuck with me.
And this is the culture we are building at MontCo Makers.
Friendly banter.
Welcome back to the podcast. I have a brand new guest today, which is really fun. Before we get into that, before I introduce her, want to thank Keith from Blackthorn Concepts for being our sole patron, who is amazing. If you are any kind of maker, go and listen to the Working Hands podcast. Him and Keith and Tony over there are good guys. It's an entertaining podcast. Just go check them out. And there's that.
Keith and Tony.
Nice. He's from Canada. He's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Keith's from Jersey. He's drivable.
Also fine.
I mean, you know, Jersey's good.
We love you. I grew up in Cherry Hill. I'm just kidding.
So did my wife.
That's why we get along.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you? Special guest. I'm someone who grunts.
Yeah. I make noises and sound effects for a living. Hi, everybody. My name is Rebecca. I am a producer and director and friends with the Scrimma family.
Emmy Award winner.
Two-time Emmy Award winner.
Two-time Emmy Award winner. You already have like a case for it, I assume?
You know,
Because if you don't, I need to make something.
that's fair. It is out in the open, and they are slowly fading.
Oh my God. Okay.
True professional.
Okay. So that has to happen. All right. I'm just writing all these things down. I have a very long list of things that I just need to make. Emmy
Make
Award
Rebecca look professional.
cases. Emmy Award cases. There's another Emmy Award winner in the area, woodworker. Eric Curtis, who is in Philadelphia. He makes custom furniture. He travels around for classes, and he's a great guy. He did a demo at H Valley Tools where I've been doing those
Nice.
tool videos. So he did a Saturday morning demo doing like box making and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Awesome guy. I finally got to meet him at that thing. I tried to meet him at Maker Camp and there was a million people around. So he's
very
also
talented.
he's very, very, very good. I don't actually know what his Emmy was for, but I know he has one,
We'll have to ask you
which is pretty cool. That's the first time I heard that. I'm like, how did that happen?
That's what I'm wondering. Is it about wood making, or is this a past life? Some of the questions.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know all the details, but how did you get your Emmys?
Stole them.
I sold them, and then I had a laser shop etch my name in it.
Yeah, and then I hired you.
And now, and no one who's going to question it. Like, that's not a real Emmy.
So to be honest, winning an Emmy wasn't something I thought that was ever achievable. But I am a video producer and director, and while I was working at a local hospital's marketing department, we had some very interesting stories. One which was about a woman who had a uterus transplant and she ended up having a baby. So we followed that story for a couple years.
Whoa.
Yeah, and told that story, and that won an Emmy for us. And then we did a drone tour of a very, very expensive hospital in Philadelphia. It was pretty cool. And that one, actually, we got to go in person. The first one, it was during COVID. So I was watching in my driveway on a YouTube stream. Yes.
Nice.
Second one, I got to go in person. It was nice.
Did you get to drive the drone?
My anxiety leaves me as not the pilot.
I feel like I would love it, but then just like video games, you can't just die and get recreated. You just crash the really expensive drone.
That happens.
Yeah,
for
I would
sure.
imagine.
But I feel like you would like flying. No, I was in the video a few times. I helped direct and produce it, and I think my voice is in it too.
Nice.
Yeah, good
That's
times.
awesome.
Yeah.
Have you seen the famous drone video that went around that won all those awards? The single take through the bowling alley thing?
Yes, that is one of the
Unreal.
videos that inspired.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah. Did you see Conor McGregor's bar drone video? Because that was
No.
the one that inspired me.
No, I didn't. No, now I have to go watch it.
Yeah, it's like, flipping.
Oh my
What do
god.
bartenders flip? Cups,
Glasses.
glasses.
Yeah.
I think people drink out of. Yeah, it was nice. So
That's cool.
yeah, it inspired us. Mhm.
Well, and you have already been helping MontCo Makers kind of get off the ground a little bit because you actually know how to do social media things, which I am not great at.
You are very good at what you do, Dan. You just have to tag the right people.
There's so much I don't know about social media stuff. But no, it's like there are just so many nuances, and I've never really wanted. I'm still not, and I don't really want to be a content creator guy. That's not my bag. I don't know.
It's so funny because I feel like you do create content. It's just wooden content.
Yeah, it's just wooden
Where
content.
mine is digital content.
Yeah. No, I'm a far cry from the digital side of things. Also, ADHD. I'm pulled in a million directions in my brain anyway, and trying to get deep in the weeds in anything at this point is difficult.
That's so funny because I feel like the video, photo, constantly being pulled into different projects, specifically in media, is keeps me going. Where a lot of people, it's like too much to handle. But I'm like, I keep going bounce from this project to this project. But I think what's awesome is that the makerspace has so much room for amazing content that could be made.
It really does. It really does. And I we've talked about this, and I don't care about putting this on a recording. Like, I want you to be a full-time employee. I think it would be awesome. So I'm pretty much going to do whatever I can to make that happen, because there are accounts on Instagram and companies that I only know of because of the way that they market it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Black Forest Company is one of those specifically. People that have no interest in woodworking whatsoever know who Black Forest Company is.
Yeah.
They had a couple young kids who just were showing everything they were doing all day long. And that's really what they did for years.
Yeah.
It's like, here's what we're doing. Here's what's in our pour room. Here's the finish and stuff. And then they started YouTube and they started showing installs. And for some reason, people that don't make stuff really just love watching a table being installed. And it's just like, why am I still watching this? It's like, it's so satisfying at the end. So, it's crazy.
It's true. There's so much room on social media to show off crafts, work, art, whether it's soothing or for educational purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people get so stuck in, well, what's my personality? What am I going to do? What are the posts? And I think sometimes you just have to have some fun with it and see what happens. And, branding is important. I'm like, what are our colors? What are our fonts?
Yeah.
I've asked some of those questions, but you just have to be your true self. And hopefully, if you're a likable person, people will let you do your business.
That's what I'm really going for.
Taking on the personality here.
So we've said on the podcast that we're pretty much going for the barbershop vibe in a creative environment. So people just really just shooting the shit, having fun, making some cool stuff, learning some cool stuff, and just having a place that you keep on wanting to go back to. And that's the thing. There are such simpler concepts that people still go and do. bowling alleys are still a thing. Like, people still like going there. It's one thing.
I don't think there's enough bowling alleys around our area.
No, they keep closing. They keep closing them, but the ones that are open are packed all the time.
It's because the laser lights.
The lasers. Well, there was one that I went to recently that they still have nothing fancy whatsoever. They have their league night. They have their birthday party section for whatever age you still throw birthday parties at a bowling alley. I don't really know what the age is for that.
80 or 80.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, seriously. But it's still packed. But like something like that, it's so simple, and people still just want to go there. Even if it's occasionally, there are enough people that want to go enough times that it's always packed. Yeah. Same thing with a good restaurant. You have good food. You have good reputation. People feel good just kind of going there and hanging out. So this would be a very similar kind of place. So the whole culture and vibe is a huge thing for me.
And I think what's cool, at least especially for me being in the media industry, is I'm on my computer a lot. And I think a lot of people outside of the industry know that they're on their computer all the time.
Yep.
So be able to go somewhere and actually do something.
Yeah.
And to like feel something with your hands and build something and watch it come to fruition, I think is an opportunity that a lot of people don't have anymore, which is really nice. Yeah, I mean, that's
literally why I started. Because when I started woodworking 10 years ago, roughly, at that point, before I was married, before I had kids, I was on the computer programming and doing web development and doing side project web development and learning new programming languages and learning the latest libraries and latest UI stuff. And I was hacking away at all hours of the night, and it's all I did. Yeah. And then I got married, had some kids, and then it was just like, I don't want to be looking at my computer any more than I have to. And now that I've been working from home permanently for the last 4 or 5 years, and I'll pretty much always be working from home now, that's the only thing to do is look at your computer. You can't get up and go get coffee with coworkers and shoot the shit around a water cooler. That's not there. So I am just, at the end of the day, I don't take my work out of my office. So you can't take your work home with you because I'm already home. Yeah. But I don't take it out of the office. How
did you first start with woodworking?
We had a tree fall. Well, we had a tree.
Why would I think it was going to be some weird story?
No, this
tree fell on me, and I had to build my way out of it.
It was one of the earlier podcast episodes. So I had we had a tree taken down in our backyard, and I had it milled instead of getting it chopped up in firewood. And then I sold slabs because it paid for the milling and it paid for the tree removal, which was cool. And then a couple people asked can you make a table out of it? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I bought a bunch of tools. And I learned how to do it. And then
YouTube exist back then?
And then I made Vinny's table.
Oh, nice. And did YouTube exist, or did you have to read?
That's how I learned everything.
Okay.
I learned everything through.
We're so old. YouTube didn't exist at a certain point, children.
Yeah. No. All the like OG YouTube guys were around 2011, 2010, something like that.
That's really cool.
But there are a handful of guys that I followed and learned strictly from YouTube on. But I was always a DIY person, already. Like flipping my Levittown house. It took 3 years, but it was literally YouTube. Like, how do I do plumbing? How do I do electric? How do I do floors and cabinets and all that other stuff?
So now I'm going to interview you.
Oh,
so wait, I'm curious though, how that seems very frustrating. Like flipping a house, building all these things.
Oh, I fucked up a lot.
Yeah. So how
I figured I'd rather fuck up a couple times and it be my own money that I was wasting on my own house than just paying someone to do it. That didn't seem fulfilling at all. Because you watch somebody do it, and anyone who's good at what they do makes it look real easy. So I'm like, I could probably do that. And then after trying spackling for the 5th time, I'm like, I hate spackling and I'm really bad at it. I'm good at it now, but it took me another 5 or 6 times to screw it up. The first couple times are just trash. But like I would get to a certain point where I'll try anything once, but I have to screw it up a couple times.
Interesting.
I have to.
How are you so persistent?
Honestly, I'm persistent in woodworking now because I get paid for it.
Okay, fair.
So that being said, I also have not practiced intricate joinery techniques because I haven't had a project pay me to do that.
That's fair.
So like that's where the ADHD takes over. So I got into woodworking because I just kind of fell into it because of stuff that was happening around my house, whatever. But then I started doing commission projects because I needed an outlet away from my computer, something that I could complete and finish. And the only way I was going to do that is if I had pressure on me.
Yeah.
So getting paid is pressure.
Yeah. No.
So I was just like, I told them it would be done in this time frame for this amount of money. That has to happen. And I screwed that up so many times in the beginning, underpricing myself. But like I was also new. Yeah. And you can't charge a premium for something that ends up being okay. But if anyone who knows what they're doing is looking at it, they're like, that's very primitive.
Trust me, I understand. Yeah. Same thing happened, when you're first creating videos and you're trying to get clients. You're like, well, how much should I charge? I remember I think it was in grad school, my first year of grad school. My friend Meredith was like, my eye doctor wants to make a video about inserting contact lenses. He has $150. Let's split it with me. Like, okay. $75?
Sweet.
What?
It's like nowadays it's like, okay, that'll get you 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. It wasn't a great video, so I'm glad that person didn't pay us much more. But yeah, it's just crazy to think, there were some campaigns in the recent past that like the budgets were $250,000, $600,000.
Right. Well, so it's funny. Pricing woodworking is always a pretty much like a 101 course for someone starting to do commissions. Because you can have an argument back and forth around, well, how do you price your work? Well, I take my materials and I take my this, and then how long is it going to take me? I'm per hour, and then it's very mathematical. Yeah. Like, okay, cool. And then you do that a couple times, and you're like, I wish I could make more doing that. So it's like, well, I can charge more, so just start charging more. Well, I don't think the quality is high enough to charge more. So you have that back and forth quality. But then you start saying, yeah, but it took you more hours because you don't have the experience. So you're valuing what? So if I take a long time to do it, then I get paid more? It's like, well, that doesn't make sense. I want it faster. It's like, oh, so speed is the thing. So what if I did it? What if I made you a dining table in one day? Well, then I should pay a lot less. So like, yeah, but I worked 20 years of experience to gain the skills to do it fast. Yeah. So what is like the quantifiable quality like thing that you're actually charging for? Yeah. And in the end, it's literally, what do I value my own time at? Yeah. And that's what it's come down to. It's like, for that amount of time and that amount of work, regardless of if I do it fast, slow, whatever, I'm using all my experience. I'm using the tools I invested in. I'm using all these things to give you the thing that you wanted. So to me, this is how much it's worth my time and my experience to do. Yeah. And if you agree with me, then you can pay for it. If you don't agree with me, it's also it could be $0 and I don't do it. I know. And that's really where I've gotten to.
That's a good place to be.
So it's kind of like, if it's not, it's not really negotiable. It's not like, hey, I'll do this dining table for $10,000. It'll take, I know how long, I know how much work goes into it. I'm not going to try to estimate time anymore. It's time gives me a ballpark, and then I kind of go from there. And then I put a value on how much it's worth my effort and time and like sweat to put into it. And then if they say, yeah, can you do it for less? So I can't really.
I have a question. Yeah. So do you think you'd feel as confident saying that if you didn't have a full-time job and that was the only money you were making? Just curious.
No.
No. Can you see? Because I'm asking.
Yeah.
My own business.
No. I would absolutely not. No, that's the thing. It's the same principle of interviewing when you have a job, when you don't have a job. Yeah. When you're interviewing when you have a job, you just demand whatever you want because you don't care if they scoff at you and say, F off. Yeah. You're like, okay, fine. I don't need that. Fine, whatever. And then because I was laid off when I took my job, the job that I was bought from PayPal with. I was only at the company for 6 months before PayPal bought us. Oh, wow. So I thought I was out the door. But they kept everyone. They made us part of the PayPal product and all that kind of stuff. So I was there. I ended up being there for like 5.5 years. But Where's it going with that?
It was your full-time job. So
God.
So you can charge more for your.
So that job, I took a pay cut in that job because I was laid off the previous job because they cut my department.
Okay.
So that was the first time that I was interviewing, and they knew that I didn't have a job, which was the scary part. Because then they're just like,
so they could give you a pay cut.
They're like, you don't have leverage.
Yeah.
You can't fall back and be like, well, I want more, but like, we're not going to give you more. I'm like, damn it. Yeah. Fine, I'll take the job. Fine, I take it. And that's where it was. And then I had to like kind of build that back up. It took years to like recover.
That's interesting.
But it was rough. But like that's the thing, it probably wouldn't be, because I've talked about it before. It's like if I ever got to do custom commission work full time, first off, I'm not sure if I have the chops to do that.
Oh,
my wife's in the background.
So cute.
Yeah.
The love is cute.
So the thing is that with a lot of commission stuff, I'm very functional stuff right now. I don't have like the art. I have the artistic eye and the creative eye, but I haven't executed in a lot of that kind of stuff yet. So I wouldn't be confident in doing a lot of stuff with curves and a lot of advanced techniques and carvings and all that kind of stuff. So like I want to ease into that, which is why I do that as a side thing.
Yeah.
And every project that I do has at least one element of it that I haven't done before, because I try to do that at least. Because making the same thing over and over is just like anything else. That sucks to make the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rush for me is being able to finish something I didn't think I could finish. So that's kind of the excitement factor that I need. That like kind of feeds that adrenaline.
Yeah. It proves to yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. But if I were doing it full time, it'd be a lot of cabinets, it'd be a lot of kitchen installs. It'd be a lot of.
Think about that.
It would be blending contracting a lot.
Yeah,
honestly, because that's the thing. I like contracting. Like I love installing floors and doing trim work and doing that kind of stuff. But like doing that for a living is a different beast.
Yeah, and I guess it's easier for you to be able to finish projects if someone says, "Hey, I want this by this time," than you going, "I'm going to have an Etsy page and make stuff," and then yeah.
So I went down that road too. I went down that road when I started. I did a bunch of flea markets. I did the festivals up in New Hope. I did the Strawberry Festival.
I think I saw you there.
Yeah. You bought a table for me during one of them.
Yes.
We have another one in there. I think four friends two doors down has one too. I think like 4 or 5 people have that same circle table. It's just one. Yeah, I did that where I just said, well, why don't I just build a ton of cutting boards and I'll just sell them on Etsy? It's just so flooded.
Yeah.
And you can't charge what they're actually worth. Then I realized that a lot of those festivals, that what I was making they were far more complicated and pretty for what people wanted to buy.
Right.
They're just like, these look gorgeous. I don't want to cut on them. That is like the last thing you want to hear.
That's fair, because it is so pretty. Or why would I want to ruin
this? So the only reason someone would buy them then would be for a gift, for like a wedding present or something. And the amount of people that are specifically going to a craft fair looking for a wedding present is very minimal.
That's very interesting.
So I didn't sell about that. I didn't sell anything there. And they were all end grain cutting boards. They all were like that extra step to make them end grain, which is cool, and it's harder, and there's a lot more time spent doing it. And everyone was just like, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
End grain, edge grain, face grain. Like, they don't care. They're like, it's wood. I see it. It's cutting board, whatever. They're used to buying $5 cutting boards from Walmart. So they like really don't care what the wood is.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I was asking you about, if it would be easier to charge less or more if it was not your side business, was your full-time business, because I'm going through the same thing, because in January, went full-time, my own business, Elias Media, and it's like, I read all the memes and Instagram posts, and even what you said is, your value, your worth. Don't take a client that doesn't want to pay you what you're worth.
Right.
When you don't have a full-time job.
But I like money too.
I like money, and also I like what I do. And a lot of the projects, I just want to do them because they're cool. And then I end up doing all this work for I don't want to say free, but under my value.
Totally undervalued. Yeah.
And then, you talk to yourself, well, this is for the experience. This is for the portfolio or for the connections. And it's, I guess it's a constant roller coaster ride, whether it's worth it or not. But.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of overlap. There's an absolute lot of overlap there. Like when I realize there have been several projects over the past probably 2-3 years that halfway through I'm like, God damn it, I underpriced this like crazy. I didn't realize how much work this was. Because again, you're trying to do something new, at least one new thing every project. Sometimes that new thing sucks, and I didn't realize it sucks so much.
Yeah, and especially with yours, digital, not necessarily wasting something. Like you could waste a lot of money on a piece of wood or something. Yeah,
you waste a lot of money. You waste a lot of money. You could waste a lot of time so this one project, it was a full out Sapili dining table, and it was done, and I put it up there. I'm like, why does it like rack a little bit when I push it? It's so heavy. And it realized because I did the legs wrong. I got the grain direction wrong on the legs, and because I did that, it allowed flex. So if someone were to like push on the table when they got up, like an older person or something, if they would push on it, or little kids jumping on it, it wiggled. Yeah. And I was like, that's not acceptable. So I had to redo the entire. So I had to go, essentially eat crow, be like, sorry, I told you to have your table by this time. You can't. Yeah. Like I have to redo the entire base. I have to go buy more material. I have to mill more material. I have to redo all the joinery. I have to do the whole thing. And it sets you back. Like it set me back about a week. Yeah. And so like that just backs up all the other commissions that I said I had timelines for. But it's like, that was just like, again, like you said, you start negotiating with the result. Like I'm chalking this up to experience. I won't make that grain direction problem again. Yeah. And I plan on making more tables, so that's going to come up. So fine, whatever. I'm sure it's the same with like photography, video editing, all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. I don't know that world at all, but I can tell that even shooting little product videos, like it takes a week to edit all this kind of stuff because I know how long we have raw footage and everything. And you go through multiple takes, and then you do like a whole close-up thing at the end. Then you do like a voiceover thing, and you do all this stuff. And there's so many different things you have to match up and tell a story sequentially. Oh yeah, like it is. That sounds exhausting.
That's why I say it's digital crafting for me. It's like putting together a puzzle and all the pieces, and there isn't necessarily a right way to put together the story. I mean, maybe if you're building a table, that video might need to be in sequential order. But if a marketing video or just a documentary, everyone can build their own story from these pieces, and you might like someone's story better than somebody else's. But they're all built from the same type of footage. So I always think it's interesting.
And it's funny because there are people that I follow that they got to a certain level where the income of YouTube or whatever was enough where like, you know what? I'm offloading the stuff that I don't like doing. I love making stuff. I really don't like video editing. Fine. They hire a video editor. I love making the stuff, but I hate having to slow down and reposition a camera for every single cut that I'm doing to have enough footage for the video editor. So I'm getting a film, just a guy to stand there and film. And just, that's all you're doing. You're just walking around filming me all day long. And then you do that and give it to that person and they'll do the editing and then that's fine. But then there are still people that do all of it themselves still. Yeah. And they're huge on YouTube. Lot. And it is so much, it blows my mind how much work that must be.
It's literally a full-time job. Yeah. Weekends, nights.
And some of them are doing 3-4 projects at the same time.
And you're doing it yourself the whole time.
And they're still doing it themselves. So they just have 25 SD cards that are in constant rotation, uploading and backing up into their big old,
server,
their server farm and their data storage and all this kind of stuff. And they're just terabyte drive over terabyte drive of backups and everything. It's just, that's where I would just never be a content creator. I just don't have the chops for that amount of sitting more at the computer. I did this to get away from the computer.
That's why I have a standing desk. And that's why production days are so exciting. Yeah. Because you don't look at your computer at all and you're doing all the stuff and you're standing and you're walking. Yeah,
right.
But then, for 4 weeks afterwards.
Then it's the reality.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's the thing, the companies, like a social media manager or whatever you want that title to be, like that. I don't know when that became the norm for companies, but it pretty much is now.
Yeah.
Like everyone has one of the, it used to be everyone has a web developer because you need one, because you need a website. Now it's, you need a social media presence.
Yeah. And I think what's really overwhelming for a lot of the content creators or video producers is companies don't understand how many people it really takes to do the job. So like you said, I've always thought, well, I have my own YouTube page, which is just my educational videos, but I always thought I should, do selfie videos. I should do a thing. I should educate, whatever. But I started thinking about, you have to set up the lights. You have to set up the audio. Then you have to do the video. Then you have to edit. And you want to do all of this correctly. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then you're going to a company and they're saying, okay, one person, can you be the videographer? Can you be the light? Can you be the audio person? Can you be talent? Can you interview? Can you edit? Can you do the music? Can you edit it all down on social media? Oh, by the way, some of it's vertical and some of it's horizontal.
Yeah.
There's different time limits. I'm like,
we
really have to talk about this. This is not going to take a day.
And there are entire that there are entire companies that exist specifically for, I'm a content creator. Here's all my raw shit. Go make it work on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on this and that, in a story format, in a post format, in this and that, and whatever. And it's just, there's so much money to pay them to do that, but you realize just how many people you're actually paying. You're like employing 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, it's
to do that, which is just nuts. I mean, there's even a so my one sister got her wedding video done by sending in all the raw footage to a place with no guidance. I don't think it was just like, here's all of our video footage. Give us a wedding video to this song and make it the length of the song. And when the song's done, the video's done. But like, they had hours of footage. So these people are literally, you're paying them to watch your wedding video raw footage, which is, a lot of it's trash because you're just going between, you're walking in the room and you don't know when to be videoing. So you're just videoing constantly. But like, I have all the raw footage from our video, and I think that our DVD or whatever we got at the time, like, I think it's scratched up now. So it's like, that video is not complete. We've tried to watch it on anniversaries a couple times, and it just like kind of starts to crap out at a certain point. Sad. So like, I can't imagine just giving someone raw footage from 10 years ago with bad sound and be like, make this sound and look okay, please. Like,
I dare you to do that.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the hell I'm be paying for, because that's the thing. At the end, you could be like, I don't like it. Like at the end, you're like, I'm not going to lie. I just paid you probably a couple $1,000s. I don't like it. Like that.
Imagine when you have all these meetings with a client and you send them a storyboard and a script. Yeah. And they agree to exactly what you make them and then go, I don't like it.
God, man.
Clients are the best.
God, that's got to take balls. They got to take balls to say that. Or just no feeling.
I was going to say, I feel like some people are just so stressed and spread so thin that they stop caring, and they're so jaded that they don't even I
don't care.
Realize,
went into this.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Like, they don't realize that you're not going to sleep for 3 days and just figure out your life.
Yeah. It's like, especially because like in their eyes, they'll be like, yeah, but that was our budget and that's what I gave you and I don't like it.
And
like,
I'm paying you.
It's like, you didn't pay me to like read your mind on what you were going to like, even though you told me you were going to like something else. Like, that's insane. Like, if you want it done again, I'll do it again. I won't charge you the full thing again, but you still got to pay me more. Yeah. You got to pay me more to keep going.
Yeah. Oh, also your idea sucks.
Yeah. Right. And I'm also trying to make a video that I know I think is horrible, but you actually like.
Yeah. Stop. Let me tell you why it's bad. It was your idea.
That's just really funny. That's really funny. Yeah. Clients are the best. So that's because I don't, and that honestly, half of that's fear, because I don't know if I would put all my like time and energy and creativity into something that I really wasn't sure someone would like.
That's fair.
I have
You've not worked in pharmaceuticals, have you?
Pharma adjacent.
Okay. Okay.
But I have done. I have a couple projects that I'm going to have free creative over.
Okay.
And I was like, this project needs to do this. It needs to be functional, but I want it to look cool and go for it. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so I have all the things in my head on what will look really cool within my skill set of what I could actually do. So I'm like trying to lay that down. I'm about to take a CAD course in Fusion 360.
Oh.
Because I've taken there's a guy, Bob, at his YouTube.
Sorry.
He is a builder.
Thank you, Bob, for building.
Yeah, his channel is I Like to Make Stuff.
Cute.
He has a Fusion 360 course that he is so good at because he goes and updates it every time they have a new version. So he'll actually go and edit his course.
Oh, wow.
And be like, yeah, so this was 2 years ago. They changed where this button is. And he'll just have he'll redub stuff to keep you up to date. He's awesome.
I wish I was as motivated and dedicated, and I have so many ideas.
Don't we all?
I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, YouTube is pretty much my TV at this point. But I took that course and it was great. But again, it's one of those things where once the course is over, I should have then continued to try things on my own for a while, and I didn't. And then I lost it and I forgot.
That's true. For me, for animation, it's like I do a little animation on a project and I never do it again. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't stick. It's not second nature now. So now there's a new course, or it's not even it's new to me, this course. And it's a lot. The course is just longer. It's more repetition. It's more projects. It's more things that will get it to the point where I become comfortable with all the key shortcuts and all the stuff that actually makes you a master of the tool, so you can actually move around and do some stuff quickly. So I'm going to try to CAD my ideas for this project, but it's also for a friend. So the thing is, she's going to like it no matter what. And that's where it's like, well, that's kind of my own. I know she's going to like it. So whatever come up with, she's going to like it. That's what I mean. She won't tell me she don't like it. She wouldn't.
Good friend.
Yeah. So it's just it's one of those things where if I were hired by a client now to be like, I want you to make me some gorgeous entry table that has some really cool joinery and looks gorgeous, essentially make it like a museum type piece.
Yeah.
I'd be in a tough spot mentally. I really would.
It'd be a big challenge.
Yeah, that'd be a challenge for me.
What kind of videos do you want to make first for MontCo Makers?
So I feel like in the beginning, it's going to be a lot of hype stuff.
Hype?
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of look at all the people in here doing stuff. You want to be down here.
Yeah. FOMO. That's one of the things.
Absolutely.
That's one of the psychological things on social media for people. So that's great.
Absolutely. The FOMO thing is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
You definitely want to be, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that? What is that?
Picking out children legally.
What is that from the back? Nobody can
Imagine
hear you.
a baby trying to sand some wood with his mother's permission.
Did I get that right?
Was that it with safety goggles?
With safety goggles.
That's a pretty good radio voice. That's pretty good.
I've hosted a podcast or two.
That's so funny. So I think the beginning is gonna be a lot of hype stuff.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that was interesting that I got feedback on a business plan from, I forget, God, I've talked to so many people, so I forget who at this point. But one person, that's what it was. It was another makerspace owner out in Denver. He said, you should be flexible enough that if COVID-2 happens and people can't come physically in your shop, that you can still make rent.
Yeah.
And you can still pay employees.
Very smart.
So he's like, try to come up with some sort of idea that is not physically in the space. So that's where it's like, at that point, sure, having content creation around all the classes that we do that are unlisted YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So that, if you take this course, here's your print material, here's essentially your instructions. Yeah. So if you want to do this at home in whatever shop you have at home, that's fine. Here's your instructions on exactly what we did in class. So having that print materials and that order of operations, making those is I went down a whole friggin' rabbit hole on how to create those.
Nice.
Part of the reason why I'm getting into the CAD thing, because that gives you your screenshots and your printout of what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
So having print materials, and then also here's your link to the YouTube video specifically around when we built this.
Yeah.
So producing videos around all the different classes that we offer is going to be definitely another thing. And then after that, I think a lot of it is going to be like out in the community stuff.
That's fun.
We're going to have we're going to do a lot of like volunteer, a lot of community outreach type stuff. I'm going to have a really close affiliation with Scouts. I already do. I have a thing now where I'm about to start doing demos on site for them of classes that will be offered for free before we're open, because that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And get people to pre-sign up for classes. So when we're open, you've put in your $5 to already like reserve your spot.
That's awesome.
And that's part of the thing where I can go get funding and be like, I have classes booked out a year already.
Yeah.
So there's your demand.
Yeah.
Like there's your demand right there.
I love that.
Half of those people are going to become members because they've already signed up for 3 classes.
Oh.
The bug is going to be biting them once they get in the door.
What kind of things do you think we can make at home?
Oh man.
Hopefully COVID-2 never happens, but
yeah, seriously.
wow, we make like a picture frame. That's like a square.
It is a square.
Since I'm not in charge of creating the things, I just film other people making it.
You like make squares?
Yeah.
We could.
Like a kickstand on the back. Maybe I'll put a picture in it.
Nice. I love where this is going.
Sorry.
It's funny.
Anyway.
I'm making one of those soon.
See?
I still make picture frames. I make them a lot. But no, the laundry list of projects and classes is so long. It's so long.
Oh, that's
So
exciting.
it's a matter of just getting a couple of the easy ones out the way. And then so the big difference with our makerspace that we're trying to start here, and then some others around here, is that we're going to have the week-long immersive classes. So we're going to have the really in-depth one. And that's the thing. It's not really a prerequisite that you know what you're doing. It's just really going to help. It's really going to help you stay in pace with everybody else. But at the same time, there was a class that I took that it took me a little longer because I was being a little bit too perfectionist on this thing, and then I fell behind, and then whatever. So it's just like, all right, you could just take a private instruction for the last little bit, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it was easy to finish it off, but there are so many projects. So many projects, which is going to be awesome, because that's the thing. A lot of the hype stuff is going to be filming during classes and everything.
It's so exciting. We get to meet so many cool people, and
There's going to be a lot of people.
people are like happy because they're doing such a great job.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, a lot of the hype is going to be during the build out once the lease is signed.
Oh my God, so many time lapses.
A lot of time lapses.
Yeah.
We're gonna have cameras set up everywhere. They're just snapping pictures every day for
Yeah.
the first 3 months of
Why
construction.
don't you be on the floor? Just wait until all the dust piles up so you can't even see it.
Dude, that's awesome. I like that.
Coming in with the ideas.
That would be really cool. Seeing the lights go on, lights go off, lights go on, lights go off, and then like every day there's like just a fine layer of dust that's filming the shot, and then when you brush the dust away, it's finished, and I like it.
See?
I like that.
That's cool.
The peanut gallery on the other room here is great. This is the second week in a row that we're recording the podcast in my house and not in the shop, and this is it's comfier.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Does the sound better? Are the guests
It
better?
does. Oh man.
Oh, burn.
Throwing down.
Shade, baby. Shade.
The sound's better just because we're
You're not in the shop.
we're not in the shop. Our shop's wide open and echoey, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Glass windows on one side, and we also just keep the garage door open to Jacksonville Road, and who cares? So cars are going by in the background.
All of the producers, if you just saw my face.
I could see a pulse that I haven't seen in the forehead yet. I just saw it pulsing. So what's cool is there's another guy that had a very similar idea for Makerspace in the same area. So we started talking.
Okay.
He had a very similar vision with a couple stronger nuances and specific things. He wanted in the center of the makerspace a focal point of a room with essentially that looks like a conference room in a corporate office, like a glass glass wall with a podcast studio behind it, and podcasting would be a part of the maker, because this podcast, even after we're open, we're still going to be doing this because why not? It's fun.
Okay.
But his vision was having other makers around the country come in, do the podcast, interview them, where they start out and what are they doing, all this kind of in-depth interview, but then having them use the makerspace to build a project and then follow them through that whole thing. So filming all of that and having like essentially storytelling of these makers as part of this thing, which could be very cool. Yes.
I know someone that does that.
I know, but they have to have Emmys though.
She has two.
She has two. But are they in cases yet?
No.
Okay, no, we'll get there. That'll be your first course.
Awesome.
Your first course is going to be.
I swear.
It's literally going to be a course titled "Making a Case for Your Emmy Award."
That only I will sign up for.
You and Eric will teach it.
Yes, that'll be great.
Eric will just teach you.
That's fine.
Because he made a one for his award. So it's really cool.
Meeting you, Eric.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool idea, because it's not something so like out there, and it's not something so unique, but it ties a lot of stuff in, and I think it could be really cool.
Well, it's making me think makerspace. There's so many things to make.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that people make for media industry, like a lot of the grips. I don't even know. Like, I made this thing. I saw a guy that made a slider out of a what do they call? Oh my God, skateboard. Yes, I forgot.
They made a what?
Like a slider out of a skateboard.
A slider.
A slider to like pull a camera slowly, so it looks like it's
absolutely.
Just using all these like, crazy pieces of wood.
A little fishing pole and a skateboard, and then you slowly kind of pull it in there. Yeah. That's the thing, because this starts out as wood. It starts out as a wood shop because I know wood shops. Like that's the part that I know, and if I'm going to invest in, risk my whole life, and to open something like this, I'm going to do what I know. But it's definitely going to expand. It's going to expand to metalworking and blacksmithing, and I have a couple printing presses, old school, like mechanical looking things that you saw.
Yeah.
I have a little tiny one now, which is fun. I'm negotiating with 3 others. Anyway,
Nice.
I hope she's far away in the other room. So
Nothing.
Anyway, but just doing that kind of stuff, there's going to be so many different mediums in the end.
Exciting.
But it's, starting off slow and getting into it, but then totally expanding into other stuff. It's going to be a lot of hype videos, but then, documentary style stuff for podcasting and what they're making. That's when you could also collaborate with them, because they have a style and we have a style. And then, you're both marketing the same video type of thing. Like there's a lot of overlap with that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then honestly, working with vendors that are going to be having products that we are selling in the shop too.
Yeah.
Those are big brands. They're all going to be having different media people that we're going to be working with.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because they would never be mad that their stuff's getting more advertising.
I hope not.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Are you done your Wharton class?
I am done with it.
Are you happy?
I am very happy. Now, all that said, I learned a lot, and now I'm into finding other things. So I started taking a bunch of master classes. Again, I'm taking everything's with a grain of salt, and everything is teaching me something, and then I'm interpreting it what I want to interpret from, and then I'm just going to create my own path with all this information. So that's kind of where I'm all just kind of compiling it in my head.
Yeah.
At this point, it's information overload. So
there's so much information.
There's a lot, and so the Wharton class was very good at giving me the basics and getting me like this and that and this. Some of the courses week over week, some of it was, I'm really good at that aspect of my job already. And I'm not getting anything out of this. Picking the right team, like stuff like that. It's like, that's actually what I do in my job. Like as a manager right now, that's kind of, I've already built a culture on a team. Like that's kind of part of what I do.
Has anyone told you where to find the money in the pot of gold?
Yes. Yes. So there's so many different ways.
Good.
So it's going to be a lot of grant writing, a lot of a lot of funding from various sources. A little bit here, a little bit there, putting it all together, and then probably a big loan to kind of supplement the majority of it.
Yeah.
But so it's funny. So taking Mark Cuban's masterclass, for example,
Nice.
totally opposite advice than the Wharton
Really?
entrepreneurship course. Completely opposite.
He's like, this is how you run a basketball team, or
More or less. Yeah.
Wow.
It was just like, so some people will like create a business plan, and then they'll be like, how much money do I need to open? Well, how do I raise that? It's exactly what I was doing. He's just like, that's a horrible idea. I'm like, oh, great.
Is that what they're doing on Shark Tank, bro?
Yeah. And it's really fun. And he gets into how, how to start small. And so that's where certain things don't overlap with this endeavor, because I can't start in a smaller physical space.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest hurdle, is the rent. Honestly, the rent is the biggest hurdle.
Right.
Because if opening a place that's 10 to 15,000 square feet is a ton of money a month.
Yeah, you can't say we're just going to start digitally.
Right, exactly. You can't start digitally. You can't start too small. You can start small in a lot of ways. You can start with, I don't have to hire 8 full-time employees right away. I don't have to do that. We can work until we are so burnt out that we need more people. Okay, fine. It's warranted now to get more people. Like, you can start doing that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not going to start with, all right, let me buy 20 anvils for the blacksmithing that maybe might happen. It might happen one day, maybe. Like, it's not really smart. But when they interviewed his partners from Shark Tank and some of the past ones, they're like, ask him for money, he will smack you. Essentially, he's like, he hates spending money. He's like, you're burning money. Stop burning money. He's like, it's called sweat equity for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, work at it and do the work. He's like, if there's someone, he's of the mindset of, he wants to be able to do every job.
Yeah.
In the company. Yeah. Himself, if he absolutely had to. So if it gets to the point where it has to be financially viable for him to hire something out, not just hire it out because it's easier for someone else to do something. He's like, if you hate doing it, that's fine. But if you keep paying somebody else to do it, you're going to run out of money.
Yeah.
He's like, so they just say he hates spending money.
That's so interesting.
Which is, it's really interesting. So like, for this one company, they said, I forget what it was, some sort of like food or beverage manufacturing, whatever. And they said, we really want this thing that will help us, like, whatever it was. I think it was bottling wine or something easier. Okay. It'll make it easier because we're doing it all ourselves right now. He goes, great. Find a used one somewhere, or find someone who will lease those tools to you. Just don't go and buy them. He's like, you're not allowed to buy them. Like, he's like, you go and buy those. Okay, fine. You're getting stuff out faster. And then you've created a problem where, you need somebody to operate that. And then it just starts snowballing into more and more expenses. And then you need maintenance on that thing. And you need insurance on that thing. And then what happens if you rely on that thing and it breaks, and now you're screwed because you don't know how to do it anymore. Like, he's like, there's a lot of, he's like, I don't like spending money. So he's like, the worst thing you could do is go start up this company and give away all your equity because you've got investors and all this kind of stuff. And then people have sold $1 billion companies and they've only had 1% stake in the company, and they were the owner. Yeah. He's like, you made some money and you did fine for yourself, but you left so much money on the table because you just kept hiring it out to everybody else. Yeah. So like, again, those totally different from the entrepreneurship thing.
You have to be totally determined. And
He's like, you got to totally live it. And that's where, when I talked to this other guy, who, I'm generally pretty hard on myself, and just in general. So my whole hesitation is the fact that, I really like my full-time job, and I plan on keeping that, at least for the foreseeable future. So it's like, it's one of those things where if I truly believed in it, would I just quit my job?
Right.
And just dive in because I know it's going to work? Like, you can't do that. You can't do that when you have a mortgage and you have kids, and like, that's just irresponsible. Yeah. So the guy agreed with me. He goes, I get it. He's like, I can understand that mindset, but you're also being realistic, and you have to be realistic in every single step of this process.
Yeah.
So he's like,
protect yourself along the way.
yeah, exactly. So you can still be successful. You just have to go slowly.
Yeah.
And think it out and save money and do all this other kind of stuff, which is kind of where I'm at. So like I finished that course. I finished a bunch of these master classes are not courses, but it's just more information.
Yeah. Education, enlightenment, frame of mind type stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just talking to as many people as I can talk to.
Yeah.
And just talking
That's
to people
so
that have
important.
started any business. This shit's hard.
Yeah. Plus, anybody could be a patron.
Exactly.
That's how I see it, at least.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And I mean, I'm doing things like I spoke at a local Rotary club. There were 9 people there.
Yeah.
Every one of them were so excited about it. And the one guy like owns a local bank, and he said, "Call me when you're ready."
See?
He's like, "Call me. We'll talk.
I'll
We'll
let
see what
steal
you
from the
need."
bank.
Yeah, exactly.
fine.
Exactly. We'll,
Here's a mask.
We'll leave a key under the mat
It's great.
for the safe. But yeah, it's been fun. It's very stressful, but like that's the thing. It's all planning until you actually are doing it.
Yeah, I've been obviously watching you and trying to help a little bit here or there when I can, and it's just really impressive. And I don't know where you get the energy. So I don't know where you get the energy because you have 3 kids and a full-time job, and you're doing this.
Yeah.
And I barely have enough energy to run just my business, and I have 0 children.
You want 3? You take.
Thank you.
I mean,
I'll take Bear.
they're really polite and very quiet. Yeah.
But they're lovely. They're very cute. The polite they've been. The quiet, not so much.
They can be cute.
Yeah, they're very cute.
They can.
They're lovely children.
We did get Little League pictures today, so I'll show you those.
Really?
Those are pretty cute.
Oh, they do good things.
They are pretty cute. But like they're going to be my guinea pigs for everything.
What
kids'
class do you
classes.
think they're going to teach?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Harley will run the daycare, and then
See, this is such a great idea. There's so many options. Here.
I mean, the CrossFits have daycare.
Yeah.
CrossFits have just people that have extra people, and like if you bring your kids or your pets, the one in Happer, you can bring your pets.
Really?
Yeah. Bring your dogs, bring your kids, and then they have people that just watch them. And you work out, you do your thing, and then you leave.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like, all right, well, I mean, do I think realistically someone's going to come with their kids to build a picture frame for an hour and then leave with their kids? Probably not.
Well,
but you
could put them in the podcast booth if no one's in there recording.
And it's glass, so you can see them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just lock the door.
Yeah, it's like
it's not endangerment. They can get out.
like WWE cage match. So it's fine.
kind of like when those puppy daycares at PetSmart. They have the glass windows. You see all the
children.
Look at the children. They're playing.
It's like sweaty to help me. Sorry, we would never do that to children.
No, that's mean.
Only good things.
Only my own. No.
Excuse
But yeah, no, you're gonna be all the hype. You're gonna be bringing all the hype.
I hope so. I'm super excited about it. I think there's a lot of opportunity for really cool footage, for educational videos, for stories.
Oh yeah.
It's just, I mean, slow-mo wood chips, man.
Oh, you'll love. I'll send you some links.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's huge on the video stuff, and he gets the super slow-mo things to the point where he'll see like a router spinning at like 18,000 RPM.
Oh.
And you'll see it acting like a planer, like it's like it's slicing the wood super slowly.
That's expensive camera.
Yeah, he doesn't do that all the time. He has guys come in with those cameras.
That's what I was just awesome.
No, he definitely does not own those cameras.
I was like, I can't do that for you.
He does a lot of the videos with a saw stop.
That's awesome.
So it doesn't cut your hand off.
Mm.
So he literally like shows how slow it's going down there, and when the brake goes up, it's nuts.
I have to watch
that would be fun.
Yeah, I've done some cool woodshop videos for Penn Engineering before when they were building race cars.
Oh yeah.
Robots and that kind of stuff. So that was fun.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I've actually done a letterpress video before.
Did you really?
For University of Pennsylvania, yeah.
Really?
I have it in my office still. They printed me out
That's awesome.
It was Resist.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. That is so beautiful. All the letters and different things that you can put on there. It's just, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the thing. That's a little, and that's even the more old school way of doing it, which I'd love to learn how. I don't know how to use like the print types and everything, and how to make those. But even now, it's CNC and laser making the print, and putting it on the platen and inking it up in whatever. Which that's the thing. I have the machine. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Again, same thing. I've been commissioned to do it. I don't think I'm ever going to be commissioned to do it. But like that, I just want to. I don't give myself enough time to tinker and just mess around with stuff. I'd love to, but I just don't.
Have you done 3D printing?
I've never gotten into that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I don't think that's going to be a thing in the makerspace for now. There are enough. The Next Fab and places like that have all that, but all like the techie based makerspaces with a lot of the electronics, all of them have those.
Yeah. It's different.
It's different. It's different. It's back to the computer. Like I want it to be physical, hands-on stuff for the most part. Leather and sewing and blacksmithing and fun stuff like that.
Yeah, lots of leather. I'm sorry, Dan.
It's late. It's 10:42. Your mind's in the gutter. You're drinking your mushroom drink. Whatever the hell this is.
Just for the viewers, it's non-alcoholic social tonic, USDA organic, Hi-Yo, blackberry lemon, functional seltzer.
USDA organic.
Sponsored this.
Not sponsored, but
podcast.
Could be Hi-Yo.
They will give us $1 bajillion.
Social media rep from Hi-Yo. Come on over.
This was the best commercial they've ever heard.
Just emailed us. Check us out.
Please cease and desist.
Yes, exactly.
We don't want you advertising us.
You after the children comment.
Yeah, about that. But I think this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm super excited, and I can't wait for all of you to come out and check it out. Dan is an amazing person. He has a big heart, a very creative mind, and he's very talented and honest. And his wife is lovely, and his dog Bear's coming in, and Bear's the best.
Hello,
and so
Bear.
Are his children.
Bear, he's going to find his home as a shop dog.
Oh, the shop.
He's gonna be a permanent shop dog.
He's gonna be the referee for the child's cage match.
We'll put him in a little referee bandana, and he'll just he'll keep all the children in order.
Once again, that's why I'm only in charge of media and not managing the space. But good media ideas, guys.
I love it.
That video would go viral.
Well, if you want to help us out, help the makerspace happen, go to patreon.com/MontCo Makers, or even go to monco-makers.com and fill out the form to give me some more data on what people are excited for. Again, thank you to Keith for being our patron. You are awesome. We will be sending you lots of stuff, and don't worry, it's coming. We're thinking of some cool stuff, but we also have shirts, we have stickers, we have fun stuff. You're going to walk home with one, so that's fun.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
I do what I can. And I guess we'll catch you next time. And where's your social media? Because you need to hire this girl, because seriously, if you've seen some of her shit, it's incredible. I am blown away. So what is your social media? Where can people find you?
Find me at notorious_BEC on Instagram. My website is RebeccaEliasMedia.com.
No, that sounded so good. Thanks. That was good. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week.
Woo!
See you.